This is the new Infinix Zero 40. Now, not only is this phone advertised to be a 2K vlog camera, but in addition to that, this phone is also built in collaboration with GoPro. And I have my GoPro right here, so I'll be showing you how this pairs up with the smartphone. Now, the Infinix Zero 40 is one of two devices launched in the new Zero 40 series. There's both this phone, which is 4G only, and then there is also a 5G option. Now, I'll be honest, at this point in 2024, I really don't see why anybody should be buying a 4G only smartphone. However, I did find this phone to be a bit intriguing, considering that it does have this GoPro collaboration. And also, by the way, thank you Infinix for sending this out to me to cover here on the channel. Of course, all opinions expressed in this video are completely my own. Now, other than the fact that this phone is limited to just 4G LTE, beyond that, it's actually a very capable smartphone. So we're getting a very good looking 6.78-inch display. This display is AMOLED, and it does feature a 120Hz refresh rate. So really fast and smooth refresh rate. And then I also appreciate that we do have an in-display fingerprint sensor, and it does work very reliably. Now, the display itself, with it being AMOLED, has really good viewing angles. It does have a slight curve to it as well, and it is 1080p. Now, with this device, we're getting a PPI of 393, a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a narrow but tall form factor here, and we're getting an 89.7% screen-to-body ratio, so very small bezels all throughout. And then up top here, we do have a hole punch for the front-facing camera. And then also this glass here on the outside of the phone is extra durable, with it being Gorilla Glass 5. Now I'll show you what comes included in the box. Again, works with GoPro. We'll open this up here and see what we're getting. So the first thing we have here is this packet, some more branding from GoPro. We'll see what's in here. It looks like we have a SIM card removal tool. We're also getting a backplate here for the device. And I like too how this finish kind of reminds me of some old school cameras out there. And I think part of why they went with this look here is because this is with GoPro. And you can see even the case also mentions that collaboration right there. Now, in addition to that, there's also a curved screen protector here, which, it's a good thing that it is curved because the actual phone does have a curved display. Then getting further into the box here, we have a USB wall adapter. So it looks like it is fast charging. In fact, it's 45 watt. And then also in here, we are getting a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. And then we're also getting some earbuds as well, which are USB-C. Now with this device, we're getting a 50 megapixel front-facing camera. Then on the back of the phone, we're getting a triple camera setup. We're getting a 108 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode. So we're getting portrait mode with both the rear and front cameras here on the device. Now here's how things look on the camera app on the device. So this is the main rear camera right now. Now you can actually go up here to take full 108 megapixel images. So I'll take one right now, and then we'll pull that up. So it's super crisp and clear here. So this phone really does have excellent cameras. I'll be showing you some more samples in a little bit, but this phone really does have really good cameras considering it is meant to be a lower end mid-range smartphone. Heading over to the vlog tab here, we can access some of those various vlogging features. You can see there's freestyle, for example. There's even more options under travel, leisure. You can see dynamic. There's a bunch of presets and filters. In a sense, in this portion of the app, it kind of reminds me of CapCut, how it has its own templates. So it's kind of a similar idea here. So it's cool that that's built in. And honestly, this could probably be its own individual video if I wanted it to be. And then for the signature camera feature, if you go over to the More tab here, you'll see this option called GoPro. So if you go there, and you have a GoPro, of course, you can then pair it up with the phone directly, and then now you can access your GoPro through your camera app on your smartphone. So that's really cool. Then from there, you can record a video using the GoPro, but using the smartphone. And then now I'll stop the video. And it pulls up all the videos that are on my GoPro right now. GoPro, but using the smartphone. So now I'm playing it back. And this is all within the camera app here on the smartphone itself. So that's really cool. Now, I did find to actually pair up the GoPro with the phone, I did have to go over to the actual GoPro Quick app and then set everything up through there. So I couldn't actually set it up directly through the camera app, but after doing that, it pretty much synced things up here with this functionality on the camera app, and then from there, everything was very easy and simple. And that is another thing too, the GoPro Quick app does come pre-installed on the phone itself, which is convenient if you do plan on using a GoPro with the phone, which is also one of its core functionalities here, as you can see from the branding. Now I've been very impressed with the image quality from the Infinix Zero 40 4G. This phone actually takes some really nice looking photos and videos, and I'll let the actual image quality speak for itself, as you can see right here in front of you. But for what it is, I feel like the phone does a really good job. We're getting nice looking images, great colors as well. It's certainly not at the level of an iPhone or a top of the line Android smartphone, but at the same time, for what you're paying, I feel like it is very good here. But let's now take a look at some video samples from the Infinix Zero 40 4G. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a 1440p front-facing test video using the Infinix Zero 40 4G. Definitely curious to know what you think about the video and audio quality. And here's a 1440p video using the main rear camera here with the Infinix Zero 40 4G. And we do have very fast autofocus in video mode, which is great. And here's a video taken with the ultra-wide camera. This is also at 1440p. Now, unfortunately, you cannot switch between the main rear camera and the ultra-wide in the same video clip. You do have to stop the video and take a new one, but it's not necessarily a huge deal, just letting you know. Now internally here with this device, we're getting 8GB of RAM paired up with the MediaTek Helio G100 processor. Now that's a pretty old processor from MediaTek, and like I mentioned, one of the downsides with this device is that it doesn't actually feature 5G compatibility. And I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6, and here are the scores that I got from that test. So overall, not really that great of scores. However, when I'm actually using the phone, I feel like the whole operating system and other functionalities of the device run very quickly. Even doing things such as setting up the GoPro, for example, also ran very smoothly. So overall, I feel like Infinix did do a good job here when actually picking out the processor and RAM. I just wish that every version of this phone actually had 5G. Now, as far as software goes, this phone is running Infinix's XOS, and this is currently on Android 14. However, this phone will be getting up to Android 16. And then with this phone, we are getting NFC. There's also stereo speakers, so I definitely appreciate that we're getting both of those functionalities. We're also getting a very large 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery, and then along with that, this phone supports up to 45 watt fast charging, as you saw from the charger in the box. And I almost forgot to talk about storage. That's definitely a really strong point for this phone. As you can see, it does have 512GB of storage, so definitely a lot of storage there, and I'd say more than enough for pretty much anybody out there. Now, as far as the actual hardware of the phone goes, like I mentioned, the display is made of glass, however, the rest of the phone is made of plastic. But this back material here on the phone is nice. It's kind of a frosted look, which I really like quite a bit. And in general, I do think it's a nice looking smartphone, especially since it is meant to be a budget-focused device. But this concludes my video on the Infinix Zero 40 4G. Overall, I do find this phone to be unique, considering that it does have those GoPro integrations. I do wish I had the 5G version of the phone and not the 4G version, but again, for a budget device like this one, it really does offer quite a bit.